Okay, welcome back. Breakdown of Creative Sprint number 4. So this was again feeded like a prompt, made a prompt into the LLM and AI. Uh, just a side note, I use DeepSeek. Not that it matters, you can do this thing in probably every AI. And it gave me the parameters you see on the right. So BPM of 137, a key in F sharp Dorian. I also ask it to give me the scale notes. Again, I'm not illiterate, but also not completely illiterate in music. And it's a lot of things to remember. It also gave me a vibe, so the vibe of the song, the track, the loop, but it's not really important. But it's like it gives me like something to hold on to. I don't know, a soulful and jazzy minor vibe that feels both melancholic and cool. I think I achieved that, but it wasn't like I'm always thinking about I want to get this vibe. But anyway, and the focal point was the bass line, so I had to focus on a compelling melodic bass part that carries the loop. So these are like constraints, but I don't take them like boundaries I can't cross. I just use them as like suggestions, let's say. The baseline I started with, again, I use Decent Sampler. It's a free sampler. You can use it for free, the sampler, and it has not only to use for free, but it also has some like decent instruments in it. And I started here with a harp. It's not really a bass, you should or you can think, but I use it as a bass. So I started off with just the loop. I'm sorry, the loops, the track or the loop I made. Found some notes later on because I started with just one note, but later on I added some more notes out of the scale, and so we end up with. Let me go back and open or turn on again the effect editors. Voice not connected. Let me see what's happening. Am I still live? I may have to start over. No, it's okay, I think. Yes, everything is coming in. Okay, sorry. So yeah, without the effects and with just one note and without the arpeggiator, this is what we have. So it's a very low down note in the harp. It almost sounds a bit like a bass guitar. But of course, I added an arpeggiator and an arpeggiator that's looping every 7 steps. And every third step, there's like a transposition. I transpose the note 7 semitones. So it's a fifth up, 7 semitones up, and 5 semitones down. And it's also a fifth. So it should always be in key. There's no other way, I think. Maybe because it's Dorian. Again, not completely literate, but I think it's always in key. And after, in the video you'll see in the sprint, I also, again, chose some notes, and we ended up with this bass line. With parallel effects, something I love to use because we can because the effects are not in series, you can add like more oomph to the sound, I think it's the word I'm looking for. And also it's like it's a more interesting sound, at least to my ears. So it's very bass heavy because of the sub filter, and also because I used a saturation plugin, thermal in this case. I the mellow muffler, it takes a bit of the high tones out of it. I can mute this one. But it adds midtones to my ears. And I also sorry, streaming. I just realized I'm playing the music back through my speakers and not through my headphones, so I hope it doesn't come through the microphone. I don't think it does, but anyway, I'm gonna keep recording. So it's a very heavy bass. Because of the arpeggiator and a rhythm that repeats 7 steps, 8 notes, I felt the need for a kick immediately. I once made a drum machine with all my favorite kicks, and it's easy to use this thing because I can audition all the kicks I have very quickly just by changing the notes. My ears, the first one, I never bothered in the 30-minute sprint because yeah, I don't have a lot of time. But the second, so this is the kick we use, but I love this one more. Or it like fits better. Let's keep it at the kick I chose. It's just the original kick, by the way, from Kick 2 by Sonic Academy. So I love to use this one. I didn't tune it, I didn't shorten it, I did nothing to it. It's just the kick. After that, I needed to add rhythm, groove. Well, not that much groove, but just with the closed hats, added more drums. With a moving decay, you see here, the decay is linked to the velocity. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, we do the velocity here inside the clip. So it's another way of adding or changing the velocity and the decay of the open heads, the closed heads, I'm sorry. Simple, straightforward. I don't think I need to explain more. Next, I used the trick I use so often, in which I find a loop, add it to a sampler, put an arpeggiator in front, add a steps modulator to move the playhead. I did start the loop in a different part because I wanted that sound. And yeah, added some more modulation. So we can remove these standard modulators. So first, steps modulator to move the playhead, of course, because otherwise this trick wouldn't work. And the second modulator that modulates the panning. So it's not random, it's just 16 steps, and it's like a straightforward, it's every time repeating during 16 notes per panning. So it's a predictable for once loop. Next, I needed, let's hear what we have till now. I don't know. I got this feeling of a groovy disco snare, something that I was missing. So I added that. Maybe it's not an 80s snare. It just gives that feeling of groove, of funkiness. I don't know of yeah. I love. I don't always add a snare in my tracks, but when I do, it should fit, and or in my opinion, it fits the track. So yeah. Nothing fancy here. It's just, again, I used a drum machine, I don't know when, some time ago, to add all the snares I love. And so we can, again, choose the snare that fits the track the best. I think I searched for it. I can't remember because I'm recording this breakdown almost 2 months after I recorded the sprint. So the only thing I did add was humanize, um, note effects. And what this does, it moves the timing. So when the snare hits, it's a bit, it moves it randomly, 4.11 milliseconds, and the velocity as well. So it has a velocity range of 8.67, so lower or higher, I think, than you played it. And so we have this. Then I missed sort of arpeggiating thing. And so I made one. I think I just, if I, no, we didn't have any chords. So I made some chords just with the keys and the scale. No idea what I made. This is probably an F sharp minor. This is a strange chord. Because if this is there, no idea what this is. It's probably suspended chord. No idea. Doesn't matter. After that, so the third chord is like a major. And then the final chord is just a G sharp minor. Just search for some chords that fitted the bass line. It will always fit the bass line because the notes out of the bass line are also in the chords. If I can get them in the same place. So you can see we do a bass in the bass, it's an F sharp in the chord as well, a B, B in the chord, an A in the chord, a G sharp in the chord. So it always fits. Just a normal arpeggiator. I did an only up, so it goes from the lowest to the highest note and goes back to the lowest. We can close the arpeggiator, and then I made a patch from scratch. Very simple patch, I think. Let's see. Yep, very simple patch with two oscillators, some noise, a lot of drive, some clipping, and I added an LFO, slow moving LFO, to the filter cutoff. So the patch is moving, opening up, closing the filter. And after that, just a simple delay. I don't think I changed anything. I just put it to ping pong delay starting on the left. I don't remember when, but I added a portal as an FX chain so I can send stuff to it. And if I remember correctly, I only sent the polysynth, so the arpeggiated chords to the portal. Yeah, apparently. So yeah, the idea would have been to add or to send more instruments to the sound effects, but I didn't. So then we end up with all this. solo everything. Then I felt like I needed some open hats, and I think I just opened. I think I just added a simple hat, one of my favorites. Chose the first one, sounded great. Didn't do nothing more. Oh, I did do something more. Sorry. So I added a modulator, just a simple LFO. It's like opening and closing the decay and the sustain. So it's just changing over time. I have interest, so it doesn't get boring. Very simple, straightforward. Next, I needed something to add more, to fill up the space. And so I added the drone. With one of my favorite VSTs, UVI workstation, I mean, especially if you have everything they ever made. I bought this about a year ago, I think, for Black Friday, so they probably have made some more stuff that I don't have, but anyway. Simple patch, fed it to the reverb or delay plugin from Brainworks, the latest one they made. Just some simple echoes, and then with a tool give it 200% width, so it's nothing in the middle, I presume. We can check with just a spectrum. Well, there's some stuff in the middle, but yeah, anyway, a lot of stuff in the stereo field. Just took the chords. Yeah, it's just the same chords as the polysynth. And so we get everything together again. Maybe it's not needed what I do here, but yeah. So the drone is very subtle. It just fills up the space in the back. I mean, you hear it without it. So this is without. You can hear it very clearly that it fills up the frequency spectrum, let's just say. So next, I needed some more percussion. And to my ears, especially in the higher register. So I added, am I in the correct? Yes, I added a sampler. Again, I used the sampler so many times with the trick. But with this change is that I added two shaker loops, two different, no, it's the same. No, it's two different shaker loops. With one hard pan to the left, the other hard pan to the right. And also the steps modulators are different, so they are not moving at the same way. The player isn't moving at the same way, I should have added the delay, yeah. And so we get a lot of movement. Especially with headphones, you will hear this perfectly. Left is another shaker to the right, then the right. And because we have a delay, ping pong delay, they are entering in the other, on the other side as well. So everything together. Now, because these shakers are hard panned to the left and to the right, they are very clearly audible, although they are not very loud. just a trick. If you want to have something that you can hear but don't have to push very loud, just move it to the completely to the left or the right, or not completely, but use the stereo field. That's all I wanted to say. For me, the chord changes were getting a bit static, so the next thing I added was a very simple trick. Very simple trick. Many people use this, and it's just, in my case, a piano that's like signaling the chord changes. With the bass line. The arpeggiated synth. So yeah, very straightforward, perfect trick to use to like add. It's not movement. I don't know what it adds, but it does add like a way to signal the chord changes. And then last but not least, maybe I added a sort of violin. Again, using decent sampler. Why do I use decent sampler? Because it's like it don't uses a lot of resources and it's free, so everyone can use it. I don't always use free instruments, but uh, I think it's great that I use a lot of free instruments or Bitwig instruments, so you can see that even with free and native Bitwig native stuff, you can make great music. Not that I'm not that I'm suggesting I make great music, but yeah. This time I changed it up a bit. I used different notes. Let's open the chords as well. Let's see if I can bring them a bit closer. Here we go. So the violin plays a G sharp, but it's not in the chord. Here it plays an F sharp, not in the chord. Here it plays a B, again, not in the chord. And here it plays a C sharp, again, not in the chord. So we extend the chords by playing a violin sort of melody. It's not really a melody because it's just harmonizing with the chords. That's all I wanted to say, probably. And together we get this. Love it. I think it was one of my better creative sprints, if you can say better. I loved what came out of it. It's like an example of a track I probably would want to finish, a loop I would want to make into a track. We'll see. Um, Again, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. If you have any suggestions, please go ahead. Feel free to comment. And if you like got inspired, let me know, please. I would love to hear it. So have a wonderful day. Goodbye.